There's three primary ways to shop for car insurance, and we're going to go over those in depth and also some of the pieces that you need and the information you're going to need to provide when you're shopping for car insurance. So the primary way to shop for car insurance is probably the most common. It's shopping online. What do I do? How do I do it? And what do I need to be careful of? So a lot of agents, what their focus is to get you on the phone. Ours is exactly the same way. We'll still do a quote for you online and virtually and type it up and all of that stuff, but we prefer to talk to you because there's so much information that we can't get on an online quote. If we asked you all the questions, you just won't fill it out. It's just too much. The biggest reason is we want the details. So we need to know what's your name, your date of birth, because that does make a difference as far as the age and the price, the location of where you live or where the vehicle is kept constantly, and then we need to know what the vehicle is used for. We also need to know the vehicle type, the year, make, and model, and then we also need to know some of the coverages that you want to have. That's where having an agent conversation does make sense. Does it take 15, 20 minutes? Yes. Should it take longer? Probably not. Michigan's a little complicated when it comes to the medical portion, so there's a little bit of conversation that a lot of people want to have that talk about what levels of personal injury protection should I carry and whatnot. I'll get a little bit further into the coverage piece here in just a moment, but those are essentially the primary pieces you're going to need. The agent's constantly going to ask you, us included, if you want to do home or auto, renters and auto, like a combination, because we know that to get you the best deal, if you're already paying for house insurance, you're already paying for renters insurance, we're going to save more if we can bundle it. There's a huge discount, probably actually the largest discount is to bundle the home and auto or renters and auto. So much so that a lot of people don't realize that having renters and auto is usually cheaper than just having the auto alone. Even that question isn't necessarily to get you to buy something else, although we're more focused on giving you the right coverage. It's to get you to get to the best price for the right coverage that you need to have. That's where those conversations make a lot of sense. But Mark, you said online. Yes, okay, let's go back to that piece. The online part is tough because there's a lot of scammy websites out there. Even some of your top companies sell your information to other companies. Actually, go to our website, go to valorinsure.com, and you'll see that we even have a little checkbox. It says we can text you and our affiliate partners, da, da, da. That way, if you want us to refer you to someone, hey, I want health or life insurance, or I want this insurance, or I need to know about this, we don't have to get that permission on the back end. But that does, like most companies do, is it opens that ability up for us to send you to an affiliate of ours. We don't personally, at least not at this moment. I don't think we ever plan to because we want to keep your data safe, but companies do. So you gotta be careful with the company that you're going to, whether you trust them or not. If you go on their website, just know that's a possibility. You can't stop that. That's part of the online portal. Most companies have made it simple for you to fill out a quote. If you go to shopmypolicy.com, that's one of ours, you'll see how simple we made it. We made it so you just click a couple boxes, you fill out the data that you want to fill out, you get the information you want, and then it goes to a live agent. Other companies have made it so they'll give you prices right online. Keep in mind, those aren't accurate to a point. Can they be? Some will let you buy them, but there's usually a 60-day underwriting period. So you've got to be a little bit careful on what you're doing online and how much you can trust, because they'll let you purchase it, but then when they go in the back end, things that you weren't aware of that they've asked you about that you didn't understand, they may surcharge you later on and you're stuck. Can you cancel it, reverse it, all of that? Absolutely. But if you've left one company to go to another, that's an issue because a lot of people get discounts for longevity. The longer you've been with the company, mainly 3 and 5 years is the two pivotal points, the larger a discount you'll commonly get. So be a little bit careful. If you're going to shop online and you're ready to switch, just make sure that all of the reports were ran ahead of time. Make sure that you understand the coverage that you're purchasing, which I'll link a video at the end that'll explain those and let you go over the Michigan coverages that are available to you. Going online isn't necessarily a horrible way to do it. You just got to be careful and you have to trust the company that you're with. They're going to want the same things that we talked about, name, date of birth, email, all of that type of stuff. They're going to want to send you a copy of that quote. Most of them won't give you the prices right up front. They'll email them to you. That's their way of essentially trading your email for their information. The one site that I do recommend that you stay away from is if you ever see a banner ad, not always bad companies, but it's very annoying because if you see something that says, if you hadn't had any DUIs, you deserve a discount. If you're in Michigan and you're paying this, then you're paying too much. Take the survey. All of those advertisings that come to you, a lot of them are from companies that are just trying to sell your data. Not a horrible thing if you're willing to talk to a ton of companies. So it's just, you got to be careful because who are the companies that they trust, because they don't vet them. We purchase leads like that ourselves because that's just part of the industry. If you want more business and you want to scale it quicker, then you just purchase leads that have already filled out information. So there are some ways that companies can get your data, and that's more so if you want to protect it. Honestly, I don't think there's a lot they can do with it. Granted, they can look up some data if they're an insurance company, but that's something that you're checking off when you register for those companies. Will you get 5 phone calls? Yeah, absolutely. Probably 30 phone calls. There's usually one company out of that whole group that will call you until you answer. So you're going to get 12 phone calls the first day, 15 phone calls the second day, 12 calls the next. It's just eventually it'll slowly die off. But just keep in mind, if you're on those comparable websites, those comparison websites, a lot of the times that's all they're trying to do. They're just selling your data to 5 other companies, 10 other companies, and they're trying to essentially, that's how they make their profit. Yeah, okay, those are the kind of the warnings pieces of it. How do you actually do an online quote? It's very simple. You go to a company you trust, whether it's valorinsure.com, shopmypolicy.com, statefarm.com, whatever company you want to go to. You go to that company, you fill out the data. It probably will take you 10 minutes to do. Most of the time it's going to pull up your vehicle identification number already. Sometimes it has your driver's license already locked in because those are technically not shared information, but we have access to that. So it'll automatically load it. It won't share it with people, so people can't guess it and get your information. But they'll get it and it'll start quoting for you. We're trying to make it as accurate as possible and as simple as possible for you to actually go online and get a quote. Once you submit it, some companies will give you those prices, other companies won't. If you like one that you want to go with, then you just purchase it right then and there. Or an agent will call you and you can purchase it right over the phone. You probably can do it through text as well. Just make sure that you trust the company that you're working with once again. The second way is just to pick up the phone. It's identical to what you do online, except somebody actually just asks you the questions. What's your name? What's your date of birth? Where's your address? Are there any other drivers in the house? Have you had any claims, any accidents, any tickets? Okay, how long have you had current insurance? All of that matters, and I'll go over some discounts here in a moment, but all of those pieces that they're gonna ask you, once again, probably takes 15 to 20 minutes. It's quicker for you to do over the phone versus going online. It's just more convenient online than over the phone. The unfortunate part is a lot of times you won't always get a price right away. If you're a little bit higher of a risk, so you haven't had insurance for a while, you have a couple claims, you have a couple tickets, most of those will give you prices right away because a lot of companies will just say, nope, we don't want to do business with this type of person. Not that you're a bad person, it's just your history, right? It's too risky for them. So there's only a select few companies that will give rates. And those agents will just tell you right over the phone, they'll tell you exactly what it is, you can purchase it or think about it, whatever you want to do with that. So you have those options available. For those that are a little bit better of a risk, you're mediocre, like me, honestly. I had one accident like 4 years ago, and I have 2 cars, I have a house, I've got some kids, so that might be a little bit of risk for me. So there's all these little pieces. I probably won't get a rate from all the companies. So that's where the agent goes to work. They have to go in and try and type up these quotes one at a time, not because that's what a company does, it's because the market has hardened up to where insurance isn't as profitable as it used to be. So these companies have to be very particular on the type of clients that they pull in. Yeah, I get it. Insurance companies are known for having, we're the richest place out there. That's true. Health insurance, life insurance. There's a lot of money involved in there. But these last couple of years, these insurance companies have had to tighten the belts because the profit just isn't there. Actually, honestly, a lot of them are losing money right now. I don't think they will in the future. They're going to bounce back and that's going to be fine. But right now, in the last couple of years, it has been tight. So even getting a quote, sometimes you have to provide proof that you own the car, the registration. If you're purchasing home insurance, proof that you're the homeowner. They want to see the pictures of the roof. They want to see pictures of the car. They want some tight companies that have really good rates. In order to keep those rates low, are taking those low risks, but making you do more steps to get to those. Honestly, I don't think you can even do that part online, so you'll probably have to deal with an agent if you want those middle to top tier companies to give you the right prices. If you are online and you're with one of those companies and you think that you're a good fit, then they're probably just going to deny you. That's where picking up the phone is going to make a bigger difference. I'll teach you what my dad taught me, and it's always to shop 3 companies. If you are working with an independent agent, I'll put a link in the description below where you can work with one of our agents. We do shop multiple companies. So you don't have to call every company one at a time. You can either go online, start the quote, or pick up the phone and dial us, and one of the guys will actually work with multiple companies for you. If you want to do it yourself, perfectly fine. There are companies out there that only work with their own companies, so you would have to call them individually and take the 20-30 minutes each person or each company to dial those places and get those quotes. Just make sure you're comparing the right coverage to the right coverage, because the industry has unfortunately turned into a big sales market. And that's where it leads into be the warning piece of dialing on the phone. Make sure that the agent is putting you in the forefront of the conversation, not the coverage, not the price, not getting cheap. Yes, we all understand that cheap is the best option. We want the cheapest thing we can get. But a lot of agents understand that companies are trading cheap for coverage. They're trading cheap for deductibles. They're trading cheap for slow claim service. When they're shopping that cheap price, you are going to get what you pay for if you have a claim. You'll think it's the best thing since sliced bread if you never have a claim. So it's, yeah, I've got cheap and I never had a claim. That's great. But once you do, that's when you're going to realize that I do or don't have the right company. Just be careful with that, because a lot of the industry has turned into just sales reps and not insurance advisors. And a sales rep is only looking to save you 10 bucks. Get you in the door, make a $5 commission. I would hope they're making more than $5. I just made that up. But Mark, why wouldn't I just do it myself if I can save money? It doesn't matter. The insurance companies actually pay the same either way. So if you go and do the quote online, 9 times out of 10, you're paying the same online than if you went and called or went to a website and filled out a quote with one of those independent agents. Go to us. We get paid the same as if we sent you the link online and you just bought it yourself. Actually, sometimes we're even cheaper. 2 things can happen. 1, the agent can find more discounts. That's what they do all day long. You probably have not had that experience where you're an expert in knowing what gets what price and what rates are made for certain types of risk, what companies are better fits, who's going to give you cash back, all of those pieces, who's going to give you that extra towing and road service that you wanted for no additional cost. There's packages, so to speak. And so what are the best ways? Well, guess what? You don't pay extra for that. The company that you're going through, whether it's a nationwide policy or a progressive policy or a citizens policy or any of those companies, right? Whoever you go through is going to have you pay the same, whether you go online and do it or whether you go through an agent. Now, the biggest piece that you need to know is what is the coverages you want to carry. If you want to learn more of the specific coverages that Michigan offers, I'm going to put our Car Insurance 101, our ultimate guide there. If you're already familiar with that and you're just finding out what good discounts are available, I'll put our discount video here so you can go more into depth on discounts that you could apply for. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'm Mark with Valor Insurance. I'll see you soon.